Good morning, and thank you so much for joining us on your radio experience. You can count on. This is Eagles Outlook. At this time, 3 minutes past 9 o'clock, we'll be looking this morning at government social investment schemes or social investment and the concerns of citizens. Since this administration came into power, we've seen several social investment programs, the SIP, and one of such would be the conditional cash transfer, the school feeding program, the trader money, the survival fund, as well many the COVID-19 funds and disbursement. We've seen so many of these, and many Nigerians are still worried as to how these social investment programs have translated into the welfare and well-being of Nigerians. There are concerns about accountability, the transparency of these, investment programs or social investment schemes. What is happening? A lot of Nigerians are concerned. Now we have the federal government has termed as 5,000 naira grant, transport grant that would be coming in 2022 with the removal of fuel subsidy. Now, the question would be, how sustainable are all of these? Are these the right measures to take? Many Nigerians have lamented the 5,000 naira transport allowance, if you call it so, that the federal government intends to give Nigerians, the poorest of the poor. About 40 million Nigerians are expected to get 5,000 naira. Now, if you do a rough estimate or rough calculation, the federal government says the fuel subsidy costs Nigeria about 243 billion naira monthly. If you do a rough calculation, if the federal government is saying they're giving 40 million Nigerians 5,000 naira each, that's going to amount to about 200 billion naira. And so one is left to ask, what's the difference? Just about 43 million? Would that actually save anything? Would it actually save money, save the federal government money? Is it another way, like many Nigerians have said, to just siphon money without accountability or without so much transparency? Now, in fairness to the federal government, it's saying at this time around, the monies would not be transferred in cash. Rather, it would be digitally transferred. Okay, so another question would be, how many Nigerians how many poor or the poorest of the poor have bank accounts? Do we have the data to manage this? Do we have the data to keep account of these monies that will be transferred to Nigerians? Are these monies actually going to be transferred? What are the modalities to put in place to determine who deserves to get these 5,000 naira? Would it be the working class? Would it be those who do not have jobs who actually get the 5,000 naira transport grants that the federal government intends to disburse come 2022? Our guest this morning is Elder Emmanuel Okoro, who is a media consultant, who'll be joining us in this conversation this morning, looking at all of the social investment schemes as well as other policies that affect you as Nigerians. The numbers to call to be a part of the conversation this morning are 090-7353-0044 and 090-8766-8888. WhatsApp and SMS goes to 090-9705-4450. Elder Emmanuel Okoro, good morning, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Prince Iheanacho, for having me.
Now, Elder, this morning we want to talk about the social investment schemes or the social investment programs of this administration. Since it came into power, we've seen several interventions. The conditional cash transfer, the school feeding program, the trader money, and the SME survival funds disbursed. The federal government is saying about 56 billion naira has been disbursed to MSMEs over the past 8 months or so, and saying about 835,161 beneficiaries of that money, of that sum. Many Nigerians have been concerned about transparency. Is this actually working? Are these the kind of policies that Nigerians need at this time? Elder Okoro, how do you respond to that?
Prince, I want to thank you for throwing that question. Just yesterday, the president approved the appointment of mandate secretaries for the FCT. And after they had spoken with the minister, they had to speak with the Minister of State for the FCT, Dr. Mrs. Ramato Tijani. And I had the opportunity to ask all of them if they knew what pressure they were going to go into, and they had only 1 year, because this regime would go out and the new regime would flush them. All of them seem to have an idea of what Nigerians are looking for. But whether they are going to be able to dent or impress Nigerians in this call worried me. And they said to me, they wanted to know who I was. I said, I am a journalist. My name is Eldi Mokor, and they were so pleased. And I said to them, the people in FCT, we have listed some of our requirements and handed them over to the minister. Dr. Mrs. Jumai Amodu is the director of social reforms. She has been one locomotive responding to every pull in the station. And I knew when they started the program of reaching people with palliatives, that's the one I consider effective social investment. They reached people in the 6 satellite areas. And I don't know, if we had the opportunity, Dr. Mrs. Jumai she received 6 awards from international bodies because she was not pretending like other shenanigans. She reached out to the people physically. There were no question of police or army guarding her. And Dr. Mrs. Tijani of the FCT also reached out last week with vaccinations, taking vaccinations to the people. And when I talk about social investment, Prince, I'm looking at qualitative assistance to the people who are mostly affected. Now, when we talk about school feeding programs, I've been able to read. I didn't say see. I read many schools in the 23 states of Nigeria where the kids are being fed. But now, I can tell you, Prince, that feeding is not consistent. But I want to say this. You've laid out some of these programs, you call them social investment programs, particularly the MSME survival funds. I've talked to few people who received, few young men and women who received this support from the central bank to establish their businesses. How they are faring, Prince, I can't tell you. I've also known those who received the terror money. But Prince, note that in many states where the terror money was distributed, it is not consistent. It is true that this federal government has tried to dent poverty in some way. But Prince, we're talking about sincerity of purpose, consistency, credibility, and accountability. And I know this, Prince. It is true that this government has touched many areas, but let me tell you this. Their record of promoting credibility is not commendable. Their record of promoting accountability is doubtful. How much money have you spent doing what? And let us see the records, because it's government funding. When I spoke to the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, I said to her, we want to see your record. If you went to, I come from a village called Ozuitem in faraway Abia State. And the people there are mainly poor rural farmers who are surviving by agriculture. Now, Prince, I thought if I go home, I will see one person in Ozuitem, in Ben, the local government area, touched by 5 of these programs, either school feeding, the MSME, and the terror money. They were hearing it for the first time. And I said, we in Abuja, we've been talking about this program. They said they've heard it. They've heard something in the radio. But if you consider that there are 774 local governments, Prince, if we want to be very honest with ourselves and with our God, we should work directly with the traditional rulers. So those who are impacted by these social investment programs will be real people. And the records will be there. If you spend X, Y amount of money in X or Y amount of local government, let's see the people They are not ghosts, so we can use them as journalists for future reports. But it is possible that this president has a lot of good intentions. The prosecution is faulty. I can tell you that for free. If a new government comes to power, Prince, I can tell you this, they will open up those programs and see who did what. See the principal actors and executioners and bring them to book. We need to know, where did you spend these billions? And there was a time when the Minister of Humanitarian Services, Sadiq, said to us that they spent billions of naira feeding children during the COVID. Most Nigerians said, no. Those children were at home, they were not in school. How did they spend billions?
Well, they came out to correct that, to say they didn't spend that huge amount. They only spent about 523 million
to whom, Prince?
In children during the lockdown.
You know, your radio station has been factual. Factual means not being sentimental, not being colorful, not being grandiose, calling the things as they are. You heard yesterday that opinion poll by Nigerians said that General Raw, the coach of the Super Eagles, should be fired. The reason Nigerians all over the country say, by what we've seen him play, he is not making the Super Eagles look super. That's why Nigerians say, sack him and get us a coach fit for Nigerian prestige. In the same way, Prince, if you have to appoint ministers, Prince, I'll beg you in the name of God, appoint people who will be credit worthy, who will be accountable. You have your facts on the table. When I ask you, how did you spend this kind of money? You showed me. You show me. That's why I told Dr. Juma yesterday. I said, Dr. Juma, please, you've been very active in touching lives of people. These 8 men and women who have been given these new jobs, I hope it's not a bazaar. They're not coming to a cement bazaar.
Although we have a caller, let's bring in this caller. Hello, yes. Good morning. Hello, good morning. Good morning, we can hear you. What's your name? Yes.
My name is Benga.
Benga, it's good to have you.
And my pleasure, yes. Yes, I want to add to the voice of this, your how to call it now?
Your guest. The guest.
The man in the studio. Yeah, your guest, yeah, thank you very much, yes. Honestly, it's a sad story. I can tell categorically, I was the former past. Now I don't know where I am right now, but I want to state that the government, Buhari, had a good intention. That's within him and Oshibajo. They had a good intention of alleviating the poverty level of Nigerians, and by feeding school children, giving them all this, they have good intentions. Before, when the first 4 years, it was working, but immediately they look for something. I'm not accusing anybody right now, but I'm telling you because I work in the office. I work in that office, so that's what I'm telling you. I was on the field with my team. We went round that Ozu thing you're talking about, sir. We went round to the school children. We tried to collate, do the M&E stuff, getting everything, the data to the government. But immediately it was removed from your supervisor table, that's the vice president table, and they created a new ministry, and the new minister is there. Honestly, everything went down. Everything was shut down. Right now, you cannot hear anything going on. Even our office right now is not functioning because they refuse to work with us, and they are now working with this.
Are you saying this as a disgruntled? Are you saying this as a disgruntled staff of that office, or as a concerned Nigerian?
Now, my brother, I'm not saying this as a disgruntled, whatever it was. You need to replace that word, but at the same time, I'm saying this because I'm trying to tell you this is what is happening in the system now. Because the man just told that your radio station is very, very factual. Get facts, and you are correct. You don't stand on negativity. You stand on positivity and clear facts. And I'm giving you facts. If you want me to come to the office and give you facts, I will give you facts and data.
We would appreciate that, Benga. I would really appreciate that.
Yes. I will give you facts and data, and that's where I'm coming from. You understand?
So from your report, as someone who tried to monitor and evaluate, did you discover that these children were actually being fed, as said by the federal government?
Yes, they were being fed as at that time, but now there's nothing happening right now. What they're doing now. I'm saying this with facts, not any data. Like, I have my facts, I have my data, my computer is with me, everything is with me. I can bring it to you and show you. Right now, nothing's happening.
All right.
The thing you hear, you understand? I'm saying this because it is. I don't know how to say it now. It's appalling. Honestly, it's a shame.
Thank you very much, Benga. Benga, thank you.
Funds are not released to the people.
And I would love to talk. I would love to talk more with you, Benga. Please send me a message right after now, please. Thank you very much, Benga. Appreciate your thoughts. And this morning, the conversation continues. Benga, please send me a message on 090-9705-4450. We'll be talking more in a bit. Elder Emmanuel Okoro is still with us in the studio. Keep it here.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja. Let's spice up your day. Tune in to a breath of fresh air. It's all fun and games until it gets extra and better. 102.3 Extra, weekdays 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. with Lee J. Cheers to something new.
Has anyone told you you can advertise your business on radio for just 15,000 naira? Get a chance to talk your business for 25 minutes on The Entrepreneur. Mondays to Thursdays, 3 p.m. on Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja. For more inquiries, call 090-9984-4433. 090-9984-4433. The Entrepreneur. Talk your business for just 15,000 naira. This promo runs from August 31st to November 30. Hurry now.
Eagles Morning Rise. Eagles Morning Rise with
9:25 is the time. This is your radio experience. You can count on. Eagles Outlook is what you're on to on Eagles 102.3. This morning we're talking about social investment programs and the citizens' concerns. Our guest is Elder Emmanuel Okoro, who's sharing thoughts with us this morning on what Nigerians need and what the policies are. You may want to join the conversation. Call 090-7353-0044 and 090-8766-8888 to send a message. Make that to 090-9705-4450. And Chuk sent in this message and says, "Good morning, Ihanacho. 5,000 naira monthly transport allowee to 40 million Nigerians. When this news broke, I checked my calendar. Peradventure, it was April Fool's Day. The logistics alone will swallow this government whole. I'm still chuckling and giggling. My dear Eagles FM." Thank you very much, Chooks, for that message. It came as a surprise to many Nigerians, saying the kind of thinking that our government is doing. Elder Okoro, looking at this situation, when government makes policies like this one, where it's planning to remove subsidy in 2022, and the only idea as to how to cushion the effects of the subsidy removal is the 5,000 naira stipends it is proposing to give Nigerians, 40 million Nigerians. When making policies, as a person who has been in this space for quite a while, what should government be thinking about? Is it what it feels is right for the people, or what the people actually need?
Prince, let me tell you something that baffles me. When the Secretary of State, Blinken, came here, he said that our government was not working with our media. Because, as I said last time when I was here, the Nigerian media is more vibrant in terms of producing statistics and information that this government can use. All progressive governments all over the world do well when they work in tandem with their media institutions, because the media reflects the pulse of the people. The Honorable Minister of Information, 3 days ago when I encountered him, I realized he has not even made effort to look at the major media in Abuja to find out what issues are trending in the Nigerian media about our people. And the Minister of State for Petroleum, I asked him, I said, Timi Sivre, are you really aware that Nigerians are hurting with the high price of cooking gas? How many poor Nigerians with the inflation would be able to afford the 12 kg gas or the 3 kg or 12, 10 kg or 5 kg? They are handicapped in dealing with some of the major issues. And if they had taken an opinion poll, they will have found out, is it possible to implement this cushioning, let me call it the cushioning money, because it will really spiral into chaos, instability, and a lot of disenchantment by large majority. How many Nigerians can afford to buy 340 naira per liter of fuel? It will affect even your vulcanizer. It will affect the lady who goes to do her shampoo or do her in the salon, because they will use fuel to power the generator. There's no power there. It will affect all those who are using generators all over the country. How many people can afford that money, that kind of 340 naira per liter of fuel? And I know that the way we are going now in Hanacho, I hope that this government will make a rethink. They should have asked the people consecutively through our academicians, through our governors, through our traditional rulers, how do the people feel? Look at the Nigerian population. We're talking about 226 million people. How many people will survive that increase?
The governors actually support this. The governors are backing the idea. The Kaduna State governor was speaking and saying the governors had a meeting and they are supporting the 5,000 naira transport allowance to Nigerians, 40 million. And the question would be, if out of 220 million or 200, let's even say 200 million people, only 40 million get the 5,000 naira, what happens to the remaining 160 million Nigerians?
Now, Yana, I said it here before and you heard me say it clearly. When we take back power from the governors, we feel the impact of democracy. Let me say it here for free. Our governors are some of the most insensitive group you have seen. We voted for electronic transfer of results from election. The governors were not agreeing with it. They don't know that the president is talking about giving power back to the people, because then it will make democracy come real. The governors are insensitive. I gave you an example, which is living clear. Ask anybody. Osuitem in Abia State is one of the largest food producing communities, producing over 5 crops: yam, cassava, potato, vegetables, and and pepper. Now let me tell you something. Erosion cut off the road that the people of Osuitem will bring the food to the capital, Umuahia, which is Abia State capital, and they also export the food to Akwa Ibom, which is the other side of South. What the point I'm making is, the governor, Dr. Kezikbazo, has been informed 2 years ago that erosion is cutting out economic activities for people and bringing them into greater poverty, because they would have to carry their luggage and go up to the other markets to sell. Now look at the point I'm making. If the governor was sensitive, is Umuahia government house is about 25 minutes from that erosion. That means if he leaves his government house, he will get to the erosion. In fact, he has come and put a signboard near a place called Elugumba in Osuitem, indicating that the erosion has cut off the road completely. You can't drive through there or motorcycle or go by except you walk. Now look at the point I'm making. These governors are not in tune. I want to give you another example. A woman from Ondo who lived in Abuja here, and she was married to a mechanic. She had a very terrible terminal illness. I called on Governor Kerodolu. I called on the senator from Monda. I said, help this your town woman before she died. She had 4 boys. Nobody answered me. I called them. I texted them. Now, Yanacho, you'll be sad to know. The woman was admitted through the mercy of many Abuja people in National Hospital. When it got too worse, she died. And people paid to convey her corpse. As I speak with you, Akeredolu has not replied any of those my texts, even though it's my in-law. I called the governor, Fayemi. I cannot tell you, I have told the DG of the Governors Forum, one of the problems we have here, Nacho, is to make the governors real. Listen to our people. God gave us eyes, ears, nose, and the mouth. Why are the governors distancing themselves with people? When my governor, Dr. Kezikbaso, comes to Abuja here, he comes with a convoy. Does he need a convoy? Which governor needs a convoy to go around small Abuja? And if they were sensitive, they would have been liaising with the traditional rulers. The owner of Ife, we were in his hall. He made a very powerful statement saying that until we must get the governors and the government listen to the people. Nigerian youths are very angry that they are not being cared for. And that's why I told you, Ihanacho, until we can get the governors to listen, talk with your people, know what is their problem. That's the essence of governance. But the point that what they are talking is it's not in resonance with the feeling of the people. I asked you a question here. Out of the 15 radio stations that are very active in Abuja, ask the Minister of Information, how many have you been to? How many do you know? Ask all the SAs of the ministers, how many radio stations and how many have they been to? If you don't connect with the media, and for God's sake, how would you know how the people feel? Go around Abuja here. You see several potholes. You see so much debt. Like I told these mandate secretaries, FCT problems are not rocket science. It is being realistic, like Dr. Jumai Amodu, who goes to the people, looks at their problem, and deals with the what they call pockets of experts to deal with them. Look at how she got people to fix the Waremba Express connection that was broken for months. Now cars are passing through there. That's what I call sensitivity in governance. So when the governors say they support increase of fuel, will they hold on to the anger of the people? You know, when they dismissed the NSAS movement, our youth poured out on the streets and said, NSAS brutality. They were not talking about ending police investigation of criminals or stopping robbers, but saying the brutality in police work is what we say it should end, and other things. And I'm telling you, Yanacho, this matter will roar its head again. We will be realistic in dealing with the people when we pick up these issues one after the other. When I came to this studio, I gave you an example. Nigerians love football. And when Nigerians trooped to Lagos to see the lackluster performance of the Super Eagles, they knew that Nigeria has the largest percentage of super players in Africa. Our problem is we don't have a world-class coach that can bring those boys together and make them become Africa's.
Perhaps the problem may not even be the coach. It could be the management of the NFF or the or the Ministry of Sports. But we'll leave that and get to more conversation. Bring in more callers. 090-7353-0044 and 090-8766-8888. Send a message to 090-9705-4450. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Amateur.
Good morning, Japheth. It's good to have you.
How's it?
Very well. Go ahead, let's hear you, please.
Yes, your guest spoke very, very well. Mr. Amateur, you know, I always emphasize on one thing, and you always tell me that I should not talk like that. Mr. Amateur, whenever I tell you that this country is sinking, you think I'm joking. We see the sailors that are sailing those ships, they are big. Everything the federal government doing to Nigeria is a scam. First thought initially was a scam. Me and you know that. Me and you know how good of blood function. It was subsidy money the youth in doing 2015 campaign. See, this first subsidy has been a scam, Mr. Amateur. Now they are talking about taking away subsidy to share for external for Nigerians. But now, for now, when we see, nobody will see first. In the contrary, we don't have that habit. You have that habit. You are thinking of the 75. Who are you going to give? Are you going to share money on the street and give everybody Messiah talk?
Thank you again, Japheth, for calling in. We have messages here. This one's from SB from Abuja says, Ihan Nacho, my brother, I don't believe in this present government or any of these or their schemes, because yes, they initiated the scheme, but they are still the ones sharing the benefits among themselves and their families, while the poor innocent Nigerians made for the program ravage and poverty. The worst is the so-called ministers who sees their position as an avenue to loot every single money made available to the masses. Ihan Nacho, I work for this country. Good morning. My guest in the studio, you have spoken well. Thank you very much, SB. David says, hello, Prince, and the guest in the studio. Good morning. I agree with your guest that the MSME initiative program did not really work as intended and publicized by the federal government through the CBN. I am part of the applicant for the MSME, and I can tell you that on their portal, all information has been verified, and I've gotten a call from their office. But till date, I and my staff have not received anything, even with the verified information I presented. This is to tell me that the federal government cannot be trusted with any of their initiative they come up with. Thank you, and God bless Nigeria. David, thank you so much for sending that message in. We have more messages here, but we're talking more now. Now, Elder Okoro, when it gets to a point where Nigerians no longer trust their government, it becomes a problem, because it seems like everything that the government says, the people just want to pick holes in them and, look at them as fallacies, as lies being told to them. How can the government begin to salvage itself, from this kind of situation?
It's all about credibility and truth. I'm going to go ahead and give you several examples here. Charity begins at home. Right here, our people, our lawmakers, I addressed a few of them, including the Senate President. I said to him, how do you listen to the people who you want to make laws for? In America, I was trained in the United States. If I do a radio program like this and say something terrible about Biden, somebody will reach him immediately. I gave an example when Obama was the president. I was in Ohio. There was a radio program like this because Americans believe in their media. I made a commentary. I asked a question. A friend of mine took me to Ohio station, and I said to the president of America, how come every year America talks about fire? Wildfires, like you spend billions curing the wildfire. Why can't you come to Nigeria? We have water. We have a lot of water to export to you. You come and quench it. Why will there be every year wildfires? The producer laughed. Before the program ended, the producer said to me, Elder Okoro, pick the phone. You know who was speaking to me? President Obama. He said they have processes in America that if Nigeria wants to apply to come and help America end its yearly or perennial wildfire problem, that our company should apply and go through the process. That if we are successful, that Nigerians live in America. Now look at the point I made. I never knew. I didn't know Obama. I never seen him except in TV. He responded because the issue I raised was genuine. In the same manner, American governments don't tell you lies, except last time when Donald Trump came and he was funny. He was trying to be a funny person. Lie telling in America is a crime. You don't go to the halls or speak lies to your people. They'll catch you and you go to prison for lying. I give you an example. My senator is Senator Dr. Jus Okalo, a very prominent politician. When he voted that we should not transfer electronically, and I asked him through phone, I said to him, my senator, why did you say that? He said that they don't have reception in our area. I said, but you and I come from the same place, and here Nacho, I come from Ozuitem. Like I said clearly again, I can call here Nacho from Ozuitem, and you pick my call. Why is it that somebody can come to the Senate and say that Ozuitem people Ibere people, or Bene people that we have no access to internet. When we have major institutions in my area, transmit information from my area to Abuja and to major cities, I said to my senator, Nigerians have grown. No, I can tell you this. All our lawmakers and all our politicians should wait for 2023. They will reap the anger of Nigerian youths and women. We are tired of them underrating us and putting us down. Nigerians have grown. They have grown much more than our politicians can give us credit for. So they should trust us more by telling us the truth. For example, why would anybody want to impose fuel or not at 340 naira? Why would anybody do that? Why would anybody pretend that we're not driving through bad roads? Why will anybody pretend that poverty is not too heavy on our people? Why will anybody pretend that insecurity is not too much? In Kaduna, on the other Kaduna Abuja road, for 8 months we're not able to sack bandits on Kaduna Abuja road, and we have the largest army in Africa. And you are telling me that Nigerians are fools? That you don't want to listen? Go to that Kaduna. I've been through Kaduna Abuja road many times, and I said to myself, if we station one soldier on that road from Abuja to Kaduna, bandits won't come fly from heaven. How can bandits dare our army? And people are not feeling bad. How could bandits dare our largest military station, the National Defense Academy, and invade, come inside, pick our officers? How can bandits attack our brigadiers and senior army officers and kill them on the road to Borno? And you are telling me that Nigerians are not knowing it? The media, they give us the story. The world is aware that we are overwhelmed by some of these problems. What we are talking about, let's deal with the truth. I give you examples here. There's a lady, I didn't know they come from the same place. Dr. Rematu Tijani was the national woman leader of the APC. As soon as she was made Minister of State, she went to work to deal with the 6 satellite areas of Abuja by talking to when there was a fire outbreak in Guarempa. It took 28 minutes. I live in Guarempa. She came there. Many people were thinking, who is this? They said, he's a minister. They didn't believe it. How can a minister deal with poor people, trying to see that they put out the fire? And today she's one of the most ranked ministers in Nigeria.
Now, Dr. I can't let you go if we cannot find solutions to some of these problems. The most biting now is the issue of the fuel subsidy removal that's coming in 2022. It's just a few days away. Nigerians are concerned. What would have been the best way to tackle this? Rather than give 5,000 naira to people, what could the government have done to ensure that the effects of the subsidy removal is cushioned? Looking at what happened in 2014 and 2015 when the former administration was going to remove fuel subsidy, they bought buses and tried to fix the rails so that transportation would have been eased. What are your thoughts regarding what else could have been done rather than distribute 5,000 naira?
Yeah, let's think out of the box. Have you been to Lagos to see what Dangote, one person, is doing? He wants to establish the largest refinery in the world and is nearing it. He said to me, over 37,000 Nigerians will be employed in that refinery in one swoop. That over 15,000 Nigerians will be trained in refinery. Why couldn't our government establish more refineries or repair our old ones so that we can no longer be importing refined products from abroad? What is difficult in that? Like I asked the Minister of State for Petroleum, I said, Dimi Silva, why won't you listen to Nigerians who have studied petroleum engineering to help you? There is no political will to plug the loopholes of corruption in our oil industry. That's the problem. Every government that comes, did you hear what the president said?
Well, this administration signed the PIA, coming with the PIA, and also when you talk about, the repairers of the refineries, monies have been allocated to refix the Port Harcourt and Kaduna refineries. That's going to take about 24 months or so to do.
And corruption, a government that has the political will here will first of all reform the NNPC in its entirety. It's not trying to bring a long garment and put to a short man and make him tall. No. It is to look at NNPC from the point of view of private production and reform it so that from the petroleum production and distribution and importation of fuel.
Isn't that what the PIA is doing? Decentralizing the
see what happened 2 days ago. I don't want to tell you now because the minister will know I told you. There was a reason why the president halted the inauguration of the NNPC board. If I tell you now, your listeners will be shocked. It was hot. Look at my card here. I was invited to come and cover the inauguration of the board because one of my great friends is the chairman of the board. The president was told something because he's the kind of man he said, I've not even inaugurated them and this thing is happening. He stopped the thing. The inauguration was to hold this morning. This is my career. And he says, halt, quick. He told everybody, don't come. All of you were invited from all over the states to come and see the inauguration. The inauguration was to be the biggest ceremony here in Acho you would have seen in Abuja because they were going to announce the inaugurate the new board of NNPC. NNPC is a cash cow of Nigeria. The money that comes to build Nigeria comes from NNPC. Let us be frank about it. If we get a foreign team to reform NNPC, fuel will come down because we won't be importing fuel. Do you see the point? We export fuel, we export our raw oil, and we import back to Nigeria. That is where the money is going. Let us do what Dangote did: build new refineries and sincerely reform rebuild. Not every year the refurbishing. When will it end? When will this refurbishing turn around maintenance? When will it really end? Why won't you bring all the petroleum engineers in one place? Speak to them one-on-one. Look at the minister, my friend. JD Abba told me the truth in NNPC, and I was disgusted. That's why they didn't make him the petroleum minister. He sat down there and studied NNPC from beginning to the end. They refused to make him the NNPC minister because, they make him the oil minister. You know the reason? He knew that you have to reform NNPC. And the big heads there, they don't want somebody like Abba to come there and reform NNPC.
That's what you say, because he may probably your friend. But let's close with this one. Please, when Nigerians snigger, I hope the government appreciates its antecedents over time have made us cynical people. This government told us that we will get the power to power our vehicles with gas, and it would initiate a scheme to convert petrol cars